footy and frothies. It's preview time, and I was supposed to open the show with the Mo for the Waker song, and I forgot to upload it onto the roadcast. I'm annoyed by that. But anyway, hello, David.
A bit of techno music.
Yes, the song is better than you, and you know it, David. So, yes. Keep cracking with that. We've got a abbreviated round to look at this week. Plenty going on there. 5 games going on. Is there anything to talk about beforehand? Have we got a Supercoach or some sort of shit?
Supercoach again.
I beat Scotty.
Yes, you did. The king, once again, gains his throne. Some
Who,
really
top
massive.
1%.
What was it?
1,750
points this week. Jesus.
Some people got their captains very, very right. And
I
some
managed to get
Captain Nico. So
close to the 1,200 and get beaten in just about every game, I think. The only one I won, the bloke had 3 blokes that weren't playing, so it would have beaten me otherwise. But and I got 200 and something out of Walsh as captain. But what do you do? You're looking just to try and fill as many positions this week. Obviously, out of your 13, I'm in a position where if I make my 3 trades, it gets me to 13 players for this weekend. But I'm not sure if I'm going to go and use all 3 trades.
For
to be
our
honest,
comps and a lot of the same, we're not even playing, so I'm just going to sit around and save a trade for one.
There's a couple of nice options there. Madison back playing 6 this week, but then should slot back into the back row. Is probably someone that you might want to pick up. He covers both the bye rounds in the next 2 big bye rounds. So as long as he comes back fit and doesn't get re-injured, he's probably an option there. You're looking at Cronulla players. There's probably not a lot after last week's performance that you're going to pick up, except for maybe Brenton Nakora, who still managed 55 after getting a 10-minute sin bin as well. So it should have been 65, and it was all sort of base. So there was no real, attacking stats in that either, which could push him up near the hundreds. Newcastle, I think, cover the next 2 bye rounds. So Ponga's probably a really big play if you do have a spot somewhere in your fullback lineup or your 5'8" that you can.
They're not knocking down.
Put him in as a second 5'8", something like that. Warriors not this week, but I think it's a big play after this weekend to go and pick up some of these Warriors that are really putting out some really big scores in your challenge. Sean Johnson as a backup fullback, halfback possibly. Fanua Blake, the likes of those guys. If you don't have them in your team, probably someone that you really want to look at. Hooker's a tough one this year. Really, unless you go Roland Cook and Grant, you're looking at options of Jeremy Marshall-King, possibly Wade Egan, things like that. If you want to play dual hookers, I think you're probably better off only just playing the one and maybe nuffing that position to
if you want to
strengthen your back row and stuff like that.
Obviously, through the spectrum, Jake Simpkins, I think he's only 230 or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to play an hour again.
I think Turpin's only around 305 at the moment.
If you do want to nuff, Simpkin will make you money. Or absolute base, Talon De Silva is about to debut, and
if you're going to completely enough, make sure that you put someone in there that's definitely no opposition, in no position of playing at all this year, and just take the did not play every week from here until the rest of the season. But
you nervous about Nico yet? Is he losing money? Is he right? Has he got the little wobbles?
He's still got 100 in him every other game, so. As long as he comes out and puts up a 90 in the next sort of 2 performances, money's not an issue if you don't sell him. So you've paid up front. He made his 100 or something on top of that to begin with. I don't think he's dropped that entire 100 yet. So as long as he puts out a 90 and 2 90s in the next 4 performances, he's worth keeping there. There's not like any major options there. Adam Reynolds, while he plays well every week, only sort of pushes out 60 or 70. Same with your Jerome Hughes. The only guys that really go big are Cleary and Moses when they do go massive, and they're both, one's injured and one's playing Origin at the moment. So
is what it is. Everyone should know what they're doing by now.
You would hope so.
PCTC has much changed. You haven't even looked, have you? So
no,
that's
I haven't
good.
looked.
I think Gaz has said it. Gaz is in Laos or somewhere.
He sends it every week.
No, but he's overseas,
come
so
through to
all
us,
the best to him. Hopefully he's listening on the plane home in a few days. So thank you, Gaz. Check out PCDC.
We definitely haven't changed. We're still in the bottom 4 of our
I've discovered and I've realised this. It's very hard to make ground if you don't start well.
Absolutely. Especially
if you losers, it's even harder.
Especially when the comp's just so upside down at the moment.
Tipping it's a different beast this season. Anyway, we've got to get into some preview round 16. We've got the shortened round. We kick off Friday night at 8 p.m. on my good friend David's birthday. So
Tis.
The Cowboys host the Panthers. James Tamalolo is back, so their forward pack now looks like McLean, Granville, Hess, Leilua, Lukey, and Tamalolo, which is very nice. They also get back Sam McIntyre, Griffin Neem, Brown, and Finifanuike is on the bench. They are obviously missing Nanai, Tuolangi, Robson, Cotter, and Holmes. Penrith are missing their 5 big guns: Tuo, Yo, Luai, Martin, Crichton. Interesting point today I saw, and it's not wrong, is that they've sat Crichton out of this game. Meanwhile, poor old Campbell Graham has a bye and he's sitting at home. So you would have thought if you're going to bring one in at cover...
Well, they did that last time, even though Graham didn't end up playing.
Yeah. So whether that suggests
that might
maybe...
still happen.
Whether it suggests he's closer to playing than not, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, he is, because Latrell's probably 70% or something.
So I dare say they keep him there just as cover,
Yeah. So Penrith, Tiruva, Tungo, Peachy, Tom Jenkins comes on the wing. Jamin Salmon at 6 with Jack Cogger. Starts looking a bit sick now. Forward pack is what you'd expect. Eisenhuth is playing 13. Sonny Luke comes back into the team at 14, but he has done the same last 2 weeks, end up in reserve grade.
Yep.
Lindsay Smith, Spencer Lenu, Luke Garner. Extended bench, the likes of Jack Cole, Maverick Gaia, Eddie Blacker, Jesse McLean and Liam Henry are all there. So potentially some late chopping and changing. That all being said, up at Townsville, what's going to happen here?
Not confident, but I'm going with the Cowboys. I just think that there's a little bit more strike in attack in this team than what you're going to find in the Panthers. You saw it took them a little while to get started last week. Take out Yo, take out Luai, take out Martin. I think it's going to take them even longer to get up and going in this game. And you may just see the Cowboys put on some points early in this match through the likes of Drinkwater. They've still got both of their halves there. You mentioned that forward pack that's quite strong. They're probably not going to better the Penrith forward pack, but I think they'll be able to at least hold them. And you may just see the Cowboys skip out to an early lead, which may end up being unassailable for the Panthers. So I'm going to go Cowboys 1-12. I'm going to go Drinkwater as man of the match and first try scorer for Kyle Felt.
I am going to do the same. I'm going to tip the Cowboys, and I didn't think I was going to, but last week was pretty bloody good. I think if they get their mojo back, if their forwards get through their work, Tamalolo back, they can match it. And I think this, I don't want to call it a bludger, but I think this will be a sub 50-point game, so to be in your 18s and 20s, and I feel like Scott Drinkwater is going to be the most likely to...
I think the first 2 tries are crucial in this game.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I think Sammy Valame will score the first try again to make it 4 in a couple of games. And I'm going to go, Cowboys 112. I'm going to say Drinkwater man match. And the difference here, I wouldn't be shocked by Penrith.
I wouldn't be shocked by Penrith. They're still favourites. They're still healthy favourites at the moment. But.
And I'd need to see. I feel like you'd need to see a lot out of Dylan Edwards here, but they'll go through their processes and probably be more than competitive. On 3 o'clock,
be a big win if they do. If they get this win, that'd be a really big win.
Well, we said this about Brisbane last 2 weeks and have won them. If Penrith win this, those 2 points are gold, absolute gold, solid gold here.
Yep.
The Knights 13th host the Roosters 12th at McDonald Jones Stadium, and who would have thought that the Knights would start at $1.50 against the Roosters around this time? Greg Marzu apparently is out with disciplinary issues, which is a word I apparently can't say anymore.
That was the issue up at the Titans too. So
so he's been dropped for doing something stupid. And Nari Tuala's back on the wing. The rest is what you would expect last time out. For the Roosters, Joey Manu is at 1. Billy Smith comes back in after his injury. Ponga keeps his Junior Palga keeps his spot. Sanders Smith is named to start at halfback with Kiri at 6.
I like that.
And we've got White starting, Nafehu White starting at lock with Tupanua pushing into the back row. Nat Butcher starting at prop.
Prop, right.
Hutchinson, Brown, Terrell May and Angus Crow. Terrell May's been missing all year. Could probably help him out. Comes back in for the Chooks. Is there any hope of resurrecting this, or what is this game?
I just think Newcastle got too many points in them. They've shown most weeks they put on 20 odd points, and the Roosters have struggled to get into double figures for a big part of this season. They could prove us all wrong and come out and put 40 on 40 on the Knights, but I just really can't see it happening. Newcastle last week seemed to hit a pretty good groove there and put it up to one of the better teams in the competition for a big part of that game. And I think if they produce close to that performance again here, I think they do away with the Roosters. So I'm going to go with Newcastle 1-12. Kalen Ponga, man of the match, and I'm going to go with Dane Gagai as the first try scorer.
Briefly, not to mention, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, I think, was a late admission last week. He's back this week.
To cover for Frizzell, which is handy.
And Dylan Lucas, the other starting back rower. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to go with the Knights. 1-12. Screams bludger, but I'm going to just, pure and simply, I'm going to go with the team that's up and going and we know what we're going to get.
Manu at fullback does scare me, though.
If the Roosters going to win, it's going to be a solo effort, and it'll be Joey Manu for the record. But I'm going to go the opposite way and go man of the match, Kalen Ponga. I think he's going to keep kicking. They'll set him up right here, and he could tear these edges to shreds if they're standing around looking at each other.
Yep.
MOTM, first try scorer. Do I have something wacky to offer here? Probably. Let's go Lachlan Fitzgibbon.
Nice.
Offer Hastings short ball. Roosters. I'm just putting him in the bin that I won't tip them again until I see something different and not overthinking it. 5:30 on Saturday night. We've got the Eels and the Seagulls, and there's a lot going on here. Ryan Madison is starting 5'8". Dejan Arce at 7. Brendan Hands keeps his hooker spot. Andrew Davey is at 12. Interchange, Joe Offengawe comes back in from his injury. So their bench is Moretti, Offengawe, Dory, and Makatoa. For the Seagulls, K.O. Weeks is fullback. Ruben Garrick stays at centre, which I don't mind. And Josh Schuster, Jake Arthur are the halves against his former club. The rest is what you'd expect there. A very interesting game, Bar. I'd be interested to see what you're going to do with this because I was all prepped to tip Para, but, Jake Arthur and Schuster in the halves isn't the worst combination.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives Manly a kicking game, which I'm struggling to find something out of the Parramatta squad there in the way of a kicking game. So to me, that means that they're going to have to go through the middle of the field. Regan Campbell-Gillard may be able to provide that for them. And if they can hold the middle of the field, I think they're going to rely on a lot of spreads to the edges. This could be a touch footy game. This could be 40 plays 36 or something like that at the back end of this game, realistically, because I can't see it being bogged down in the trenches for too long. I think both teams are going to be looking to go wide and try and expose the defence on either side of the field. I'm going to stick with Manly, stick with Parramatta, just because I think they may be a little bit stronger in the middle of the field when they do have to sort of, in the defensive realms more than anything, and be able to sort of hold their middle together a little bit longer than Manly will, who could get cut up a little bit. If with some players cutting back through the middle of the field, I expect Madison just to run his absolute arse off and target the back of the ruck and could cause some problems there. So I'm going to go with Parramatta 1-12 with absolutely no confidence. Penasini first try scorer, and on the back of what I said, I think if anyone's going to get man of the match for Parramatta, it's probably going to be Madison.
I am going to tip the Seagulls.
No, don't blame me for it.
I also didn't mention Ofahiki Ogden is starting prop with Borlo out as well. So they're missing Greg and Borlo.
Yep.
And their spine. I can see this as a game where Gutho's going to touch the ball 7 times every set.
Sorry, he'd be my man of the match, actually.
If Para winning, Gutho's man of the match. So give me bonus points there, GT. But I just think their forward pack can match them. They're full strength. Lachlan Croker's flying.
You saw what the outside backs did last.
And we know if they get clean enough ball, it can do it. I think Jake Arthur can do a serviceable job. Obviously, he'd be motivated, but I think he can kick them into enough of a position to get them going. Yeah. Man of the match, Ruben Garrick. Again, I think he's up and going, and we know what Para edges bring in defence when they're when they're exposed. And first try scorer, Sabra.
Sabra.
Because I like saying Sabra.
Sabra.
It's quality analysis you get at Footy and Frothies. All right. The 7:30 game is the Tigers and the Storm. 2 weeks ago, I was so excited for this game. And less so now. Yes. All right. So for the Tigers, Naden comes into the centres with Kapoa. Stafford Toa moves to 5'8" with Wakeham. Fanua Pole starts at prop with Clemmer. Simpkins starts at 9. Sean Bloor keeps his spot, and John Bateman is captain and 13. Talon De Silva, the 18-year-old, makes his debut. The Australian under-18s hooker and New South Wales hooker, and all the spruik in the world. Tommy Talau's somehow still on the bench. Alex Twal, Seyfarth there. I'd love to see Matamil get a start there. For the Storm, Nick Meaney, obviously he's there. Jonah Peze and Jerome Hughes are the halves. Bronson Garlick starts at 9. Nelson is starting. Tarek Sims is starting. Tyron Wishart, Alec McDonald, Aaron Penne is the bench. Obviously no Munster, no Welsh, no Katoa, no Grant, no Coates, and obviously no Coruscant Laurie. No Coruscant Brooks or Tukamanu for the Tigers. I just can't tip the Tigers with what they're missing. I really want to, actually, because I still think that a large chunk of that team is going to be more than competitive. But
especially in the middle of the field. Yeah.
Definitely, if not dominant. But we'll see if those combinations are a week better. Obviously, my heart says they should be, but I'm going to say man of the match is going to be Nelson Asafa Solomona against this forward pack.
As they win, personal battle.
They win 1-12. He's actually the sole, the island in the sea there, and I hope it plays out that way. But I just think I need this to be better than what I saw last week. So I'm going to say Storm 1-12. Nelson man of the match, first try scorer. Actually, Jerome Hughes, a little show and go, and getting over maybe deeper into the game than you think. Maybe around the 15-20 minute mark. Sure. They finally get going. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with against everything I said in the Parramatta game, and I'm going to stick with the half combination. And I think Pezzett's been quite good in the times he has shown up for the Melbourne Storm. You've got Jerome Hughes there, Meaney chiming
He's
in
someone
from
that
the
should
back.
be on the table for the Tigers to chase, realistically.
Yeah. Any team looking for a half, even a backup half, because at the moment he's not really even a backup half in this system. He's sort of a second option again after the first backup. So. Worries me that the Tigers could kick the front door down and control field position and possession, and just the fact that this is something different in the shape of their halves. They might, try a few different things that may come off and may be able to just eke out a win. But
I can see it very Simpkins, Buller, Bateman based.
Yeah.
Right through the middle. I don't think they're going to leave that middle.
But you
third.
throw Toa in there, and he just seems to have something a little bit different.
You know what? If it comes off here, he might be a 5'8" down the road.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. As I said, I liked a few of his touches that I saw out of him last week when he was in there. But I just think you're going to see Meaney and Hughes really trying to work together in this game, and they're going to be going. That'll be where the majority of the attacking plays will be coming through this Melbourne side. Will be between Meaney and Jerome Hughes. I'm going to go Meaney man of the match. Meaney first try score a double in a Melbourne Storm 1-12 win.
And we get to 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. The Sharks at PointsBet host the Bulldogs. The Sharks, exactly what we expect. They only lose Royce Hunt. They get who comes onto the bench? Hazelton comes back in. So fair enough. And the Fox goes out for Braden Burns to come back in. Do you bounce back, Bun?
They should. Realistically, if they consider themselves a top 8 team, they have to be 100 times better than what they were last week. I would expect that a few of these guys in the shape of Blake Brayley, Nico Hines, Will Kennedy would know that they were well below par from what they've been producing for the majority of the season. I expect some much stronger performances out of those 3 guys, and they're a big part of the attack that comes out of the Sharks side. As long as they strengthen up that spine and get it back somewhat looking something similar to what they've been producing for every second game this year, then I think they can get away and win this and win it quite comfortably by the back end of the game. Sharks 13+. I just think that there has to be some sort of bounce back, and if there's not, you can just put the pen through them and tell them that they're not even going to make the 8 by the end of the year. So Sharks 13 plus, man of the match. I'm going to go with Nakora. He's been close to their best player week in, week out, and I'm expecting big things out of him again. Be disappointed getting sent to the bin at the back end of last week because he's actually quite a clean player for a back rower, which you don't see quite often out of most back rowers. And I'm going to go Mulatalo first try scorer.
And his hair looks fantastic these days. There is part of me, there's an itch in the back of me.
Dogs,
back of
they've been a bogey team
that wants to tip the Dogs. Just bogey team, big efforts, performing to the best of capability. But I'm going to tip the Sharks. I'm going to go 1-12, and I could see this being 13 plus. But as I mute David as he dies quietly in that corner, but I'm going to suggest they're going to bounce back here. Have to go with the SP in the lead up, which is man of the match Nico, first try scorer Talakai getting involved with Avarillo and Alamonte. I think that's surely recipe for points, but I said this last week.
You would think so.
They bounce back. If they don't, it's absolutely sound the alarms and everyone freak out. But Bulldogs can put on a show here. Bulldogs will make them work as they'll
test them, for a good part of the game.
Alrighty, that is our whirlwind look there. What's the disaster class say at the moment, David?
Ooh, minuses everywhere.
Yeah.
Minus $410 for yourself and minus $422.50 for me. Both dropped another $50 this week. We're still running about 50% loss, which is not great, but what do you do? I think we've both only had about 2 winning bets this year, so let's see if we can find something.
I'm going to go 2 upsets. I'm going to throw $50 on the Cowboys, all up the Seagulls. You're getting $6.50. Yep, just head to head. You're getting $6.50. You can obviously, if you're allowed to find one of those filthy corporates that let you, you can get a boost and probably get $7 or $8 there. But I think they're both.
Whack?
Yeah, why not? What else am I going to do?
Well, I've got that bet, but in a different different formation. My first bet, I'm going to have $30 on the favourites for the entire weekend. Okay. So Newcastle, Parramatta, Storm, Sharks, and Penrith. All head-to-head. That'll get you $7.20. I'm going to have $30 on that. My iteration of the Manly Cowboys is 1-12.
Yep.
So I'm going to have $10 on both of those to win at 1-12. That'll get you $11. And then I'm going to have $10 on Nick Meaney, first try scorer, at $11 for the Storm.
Very good. I like it. Good job, Barn. We've got to what's got you frothing now?
It's a bit of a hard round to pick, to be honest. Yeah. Well, obviously it has to be Cronulla. As a Cronulla supporter, if they don't come back and actually really make a point of putting out one of their best efforts of the year, then I'll be very flat. But I'm hoping to be very frothy at about 6 o'clock on Sunday Sunday evening, when they put in one of their better performances of the year.
It's funny because, we sound like dickbags when we say it, but I'm actually excited to see what the young Tigers bring to the table as well. And Talon De Silva coming in, Stafford getting his hands on the ball, and the continued progression of Simpkin and Baller, and see what they've got to offer. It does excite me because Storm are beatable if they all turn up. But in fairness, I also want to suggest that I'm excited to see, not in more of my car crash way, like, as you know, NRL Chaos.
You do like
excited to see what Parramatta and the Eagles produce with no halves on the field. That should be a lot of fun as well. Looking forward to reviewing all of that. Check out rugbyleaguemerch.com to buy some gear and support us. And we'll be back most likely Sunday night, depending on what young Greg's doing.
Sunday or Monday, so you should. The latest you'll hear the episode will be Tuesday. Or
you'll hear us Tuesday morning, one or another, to review all of this and preview State of Origin. Our other statistician, GT, is apparently popping in. So look forward to seeing young Greg, and he'll be on Friday night. So what's also got me frothing is your birthday, David.
Yes.
Come down, have a few beers Friday, and watch the Cowboys game.
Cowboys Panthers.
Looking forward to all of that. I think Devon is listening. Devon has left some feedback lately and some comments, and helped out, especially our YouTube channel grow. It's growing at a rate of knots. Get on board there, and let us know. Get involved, and we'll talk soon. See you guys.
Bye.